Hey guys, Forex here. Hope you're all well. What you're looking at in front of you is two faulty GameCubes. Now I'm probably going to split these two into two separate videos. Today I'm going to be working on this one, and my next video I'll probably be working on this one. So yeah, what I'm going to do is set up and we'll get testing this thing out and see if it's got any faults. I've got power going to the GameCube, got SCART out going to the SCART switcher which goes to my TV. I've got controller plugged in, so let's power on and see what we get. And we're getting a boot, baby. However, one thing straight off the bat I'm noticing straight away is how quiet this GameCube is. Yeah, that's why it's quiet. That fan's not working. The fan has failed. Wow. Okay, I'm going to turn it off because I really don't want to leave that on too long without the fan. So yeah, that's probably what's been happening with this GameCube. That fan has probably failed, and the person's been playing it for a period of time and it just keeps shutting off on him. Or yeah. So yeah, the fan has failed in this GameCube. Right, if I turn it around and power it on, see if we can see the fan. I tilt it up like this, you might be able to see it better. Let's power it on. Yeah, that fan's failed, it's not spinning. So yeah, we've got a dodgy fan. So yeah, I'm gonna have to get in this thing. Let's see if I can fix the fan. Before I actually strip it down and try and repair that fan, what I want to do is just make sure that it's reading discs, because I might have to change the laser in this thing. I do have a spare laser, just in case it doesn't work. So let's power on and see if it boots the game. I don't want to run it for too long with that fan not working. And it is booting the game. So let's just quickly... Yeah, and it does look like it's working. Yeah, that's working fine. So yeah, I'm just going to power that off because I don't want to let this thing overheat. And that's probably what the problem was with this. You know, the person was playing it and that fan had failed, and every now and again it just keeps shutting down, overheating. So yeah, I'm going to have to get in this thing and I'm going to have to repair that fan. To get into the GameCube, it's super easy. There are 4 game bit screws you need to remove. There's one here, there's one here, there's one here, and there's one here. Remove those screws and the top lid will pull straight off. And we're in like flame. Now the first thing I'm going to do before I start looking at the fan is I want to get this front plate off, because I'm going to retro bright it because it has turned yellow. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. Now to remove this front plate, it's super easy. The first thing you have to do is release a couple of clips on either side, just here, and the whole thing will fall forward. And then what you do is just down there, there's a little ribbon, and all you do is you just pull it up like that and it pulls it out of that connector, and that's the controller port removed. And I can remove the front plate off it now. Now to remove this front fascia is super easy. All you have to do is open 2 screws and the front fascia will just come straight off. I want to retro bright the actual memory card flaps as well, so I need to remove those. Now it's super easy, you just get like a pick and you just pull it on one side and it will pop out, and then you do the same on the opposite side, and there you go, that's it out. Just remove that spring. I'll give these a wash with the fascia and then I'll get retro brighting them. I'm ready to retro bright the front portion of the case, the yellowed portion. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this Be Blonde. Now you can get this from Wilco's, it's £1.70. I don't know what it's called in the States, but what you're looking for is something with 12% peroxide, and this has got 12%. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to get some cling film, and then I'll show you how I'm going to retrobrite these 3 pieces. As you can see, I've got some cling film. I think your Americans call that saran wrap. I may be wrong about that, but in the UK we call it cling film. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a bit of the Bee Blonde in the centre, and I'm just going to paint it into a rough shape of the front plate. Because then you get it actually on the cling film and the front plate. So that's that done. Just make sure that the front plate will fit. Yeah, just a little bit more down this end should do. Okay, now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the same. I'm going to paint the front plate and then I'll put it together and wrap it up. That's the front controller port and the 2 memory card slot flaps, all ready for retrobriting. Time to get this in the sun. That's them in a nice sunshine. Just let the sun and the peroxide do its thing now. Let's take a look at this fan. Now I can't see any obvious breaks with the connection that goes to the fan. Let's power on, see if it spins. Now this thing should be running from the moment you turn that power button on to the moment you turn it off, and as you can see it's not doing anything, it's dead as a door now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get my multimeter and I'm going to probe this fan output just here, see if it's got 12 volts, and if it does have 12 volts then the fan is knackered. What I'm doing now is I'm probing the power connector for the fan. Now there should be 12 volts on that power connector, and if we take a look at my multimeter, there you go, 12 volts. So yeah, that's telling me the fan is knackered. It does look like this fan is cactus. Now the problem I have is you only ever find these fans in another GameCube, because sadly Nintendo didn't use a standard 50mm fan. These are 50mm fans, but it's not a standard 50mm fan. So the only place you ever find one of these fans like this is in another GameCube. Now what I'm going to have to do is I could take the fan out the other GameCube, but I really don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can retrofit a standard 50mm fan into this fan housing. But first I need to get the fan housing off. Now to do that it's pretty easy. All I do is remove this power connector just here, and I take out these 2 screws, and then the housing should just come straight off. Now the fan I'm going to be retrofitting into the system is this standard 50mm fan. This is an old fan I got years ago from Maplin's, but a standard 50mm fan will do. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to hook up this 50mm fan to the power for the fan connector, just to see if this spins and works. So I've just hooked up that fan to the power connector. Let's power it on, and the fan is spinning. Don't know if you can see that. So yeah, that proves the old fan's knackered. So let me power it off and you'll see that stop. Yeah. So yeah, that proves the old fan is completely toast. So yeah, let's see if I can retrofit this into this housing now. What I want to do now is remove the fan from this housing that holds the power switch also. Now to do that, there are 4 screws. There's one here, there's one here, there's one here, and there's one here. If I remove that, the fan will just come straight out. And then what I can do is show you the difference between the fan Nintendo used and a standard 50mm fan. If we take a look at the fan, the 50mm fan Nintendo used, compared to a standard off-the-shelf fan, the difference, and the main difference that is bad for us, if you look at these connections on it, you can see they're recessed. Now they're recessed because of these mounting brackets here, so the fan will fit straight inside it with no lip. And that's the way you mount them. Obviously, I'll show you. The fan goes in like this, and as you can see, it fits in there nice and flush, and then you just screw it in. But if we take a look at a standard 50mm fan, off the shelf 50mm fan, if we try and put that in, you can see it doesn't fit. There's a lip all the way around. Now what I'm going to do to fit that new fan is I'm going to remove the actual bracket that you screw the original fan into, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some really strong double-sided tape, and I'm going to actually tape the fan in there. And I've done this before, and it won't move, it won't go anywhere once that strong adhesives holding the fan in. So yeah, what I need to do next is remove these brackets. What I want to do before I start modding this bracket is remove the power switch and the power distribution board, and then to do that, it's very simple. I just remove that one screw, and this whole board and the switch will come straight off. And that's those 4 brackets removed. As you can see, the way you deal with the top 2 brackets is you drill them out with a drill, and as you can see, I went a bit too far with the drill and went through it. Yeah, but that's nothing a bit of plastic put you won't sort out, so I'm not too bothered about that. Now once you've done that, you'll still have little bits left over. So what I do is I take my craft set with a chisel blade, and all you do is you just go down, keep going down like this, and eventually what happens is you'll make those corners nice and flat, and as you can see, the new fan fits in there perfectly fine. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get the really strong double-sided tape, and I'll show you that, and then we'll fix this fan in there. Now the stuff I'm going to use to stick the fan into that housing is this stuff. It's called No More Nails. I don't know if you can get this in the States, you may do. So what I'll do is I'll get a piece out and show you what it looks like, and then you may be able to recognize what it is. And it's just really strong double-sided tape. As you can see, I've got some of that really strong double-sided tape on there. What I'll do now is I'll peel it off and put it inside the mounting bracket. That's our new fan installed. Now trust me, this fan is not going anywhere anytime soon, not with that really strong double-sided tape. Now you may be asking, what happens if this fan fails? How can I get it out again? It's very simple. All you do is you take this how it is now and you just soak it in warm water, and that will make the adhesive give way, and then eventually after about an hour you'll be able to remove the old fan and put a new fan in exactly how I did, like this. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wire the old connector onto the new fan, and then hopefully that should fix our dead fan. I've spliced the old wire onto the new fan. I put the power switch back on. Let's get it back in the GameCube and see if we get a working fan. and the new fan is in. What I've done just off camera was I removed the mapping sticker and just put a bit of black electrical tape where it was. Also what I've done is I've just gone around with a Sharpie just to colour in those white bits of tape that you could see, and now you can't see it. So yeah, let's power this thing on and see if the fan works. And it is, I can feel the air coming from it. So yeah, we've got fan spin, as Lewis Rossman would say. So yeah, let's fix the fan. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to totally strip down this GameCube and give it a really good clean. Let's start stripping this GameCube down so I can give it a good clean. The first thing I want to remove is this back plate. Now that's super easy. It's just clipped on. Here's a couple of clips. You remove this clip here, like that. And on the opposite side there's another clip, remove that, and then you can just pull it straight out like that. Let's remove the optical block. Now to do that, you need to remove these 4 screws, this screw, this screw, this screw, and this screw. And then the final thing you have to do is go around removing every single one of these screws that are round the outer perimeter. Remove those, and this old block will lift straight off. We're down to the actual GameCube motherboard now. What I need to do is remove it. So to do that, it's very simple. There are 6 screws on this heatsink. There's one here, there's one just here, there's one just here, there's one here, there's one here, and there's one here. Remove those and you should be able to pull the motherboard straight out. What I want to do now is remove this bottom metal shield. Now to do that is very easy. All I have to do is remove these 2 screws and the metal shield will just pull straight out. We're almost there. All I need to do now is remove the power supply. Now to do that it's very simple. There are 4 screws. There's one here, there's one here, there's one here, and there's one just here. Remove those screws and the power supply will just pull straight out. And that's pretty much the bottom case disassembled. All I have to do now is remove the metal shield pieces, and then I can get this ready for soaking. Let's move on to the top case now. Let's break this down and get ready for soaking. Now the first thing I want to do is remove the handle, and that's very easy. All I have to do is remove this screw just here and this screw just here, and the handle will pull out like this. The next thing I want to remove is this dust filter. Now that's super easy. You just grab it like this, put it towards you, and it just lifts straight out. The next thing I want to remove is the light pipe, and that's super easy to do also. You just remove these 2 screws and then you can pull this power indicator light pipe out. The next thing I want to remove is the actual lid catch that holds the lid shut, and to do that I need to remove these 2 screws. There's one here, one here. Remove those and this lid catch should just pull straight out. What I want to remove next is the actual lid. Now to do that I need to remove this screw here and pull out this plastic piece, and I need to remove this screw here and pull out this plastic piece. But a word of caution, there's a spring there, maybe you can see it, so you need to be a little bit careful when you're removing this bit, because if you don't it will spring across the room. What I want to do now is remove the power, reset and lid catch button. Now that's super easy to do. All you do is you just come along and you can see 2 tabs either side. You just push those and you can push the button through, and you do that for each button and those buttons will come out. Now the final piece I want to get out is the actual GameCube logo itself. Now that's super easy to do. All you do is the same with the buttons. You just push these two tabs together and the actual logo will fall straight out. That's the GameCube case, completely stripped. Let's give this a good soak and a really good clean. As you can see, I've got all those case parts soaking in the bath. So what I'll do is I'll leave this for half an hour, let it soak, and then come back and give it a really good scrub and clean. Before I put it all back together, I thought I'd show you the end result of the retro bright in the front controller port panel and the two memory card slot flaps, and yeah, it's come out pretty nice. We're all fixed, we're all cleaned. Let's get this GameCube back together again. And we're all bolted back together. Time to give it a power on test, see if it blows up. It's power on. And we're getting a boot, baby. Sweet. Now I don't know whether you can hear that, but that fan is definitely spinning. So that's that repaired. What I'm going to do now is get a game in this thing, and then I can wrap up the video. Let's pop a game in this thing, in the lid. Pop the game in, and we'll power on. And hopefully the game should boot. And it is. So yeah, it looks like it's working perfectly. Now I can play this because it's not going to overheat now. There's that fan in there, and it's also had a really good clean inside and out as well.
Hi, I'm Brooke Burke, and I play Rachel Teller in Need for Speed Underground 2. Playing a racer in the game was a lot of fun, but on the streets, I make sure to drive safely and responsibly. When it comes to racing, make sure you only do it on the streets of Underground 2. So remember to always use your seatbelts and obey the laws of the road.
Yeah, you've been warned. So yeah, there you go guys. It's working perfectly fine. Just skip this bit because I might get a copyright strike. So yeah, there you go guys. All working, all fine, all clean. So yeah, hope you like this video guys. Please give it a big thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe, all the usual stuff. And as always, I'll catch you on the next one. How fishy.